Great.
Well,
sorry about that.
No problem. Well done. Congratulations. You're here all the way from Russia.
Yeah, all the way from northern Russia too.
Northern Russia. I was just saying, Tara, you're a long way off, aren't you? How long was that flight from Moscow to, how do you pronounce?
It's pronounced Nizhny Tagil.
Nizhny Tagil.
Yeah. And we flew from Munich, and that was about a 4.5 hour flight. And then we had a layover in Moscow and had another 4.5, 5 hour flight. We flew pretty much through the night and got in at 5 o'clock this morning.
Oh, brutal, brutal. Well, you're actually 10 hours ahead of us. So hopefully you've been able to catch up on a little bit of sleep.
Yep, we got in. There was about an 1.5 hour drive from the airport, and we got in and had a quick breakfast and took a long nap and then went for an easy run today. So feeling a little bit more human. How
cold is it there right now, Tara?
Well, this time I've been here before when it was -20 or -4 Fahrenheit. But this time it's not so bad. It's like -3. It was -10 in the middle of last night.
Oh, cold enough, but then that's just what you need. And tell us what your plans are for this week. You've got a competition ahead of you. When is that? When do you actually compete?
So tomorrow is the official training, and that gives us a chance to sort of feel out the hill and ski the course. And then there'll be 3 continuous days of competition, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And how does that pan out? Walk us through those competitions.
So it's Nordic Combined, and usually for Nordic Combined, you'll jump in the morning and ski in the afternoon, which we will do on Friday and Sunday. Saturday, we have something which is a little bit new. It's a mass start. So we'll actually do the cross-country portion of the event first in the morning and then jump. So usually when you're going into the jumping, you don't really know how far you have to jump to win. But if you do the cross-country portion first, essentially you'll be at the top of the ski jump knowing that you have to go, say, 80 meters to win or 100 meters to win, which is a little bit different mentally than if you ski first.
Yes, second. I can imagine. Absolutely. Do you like those mass starts? They look very exciting, you know, for a spectator.
Yeah, no, it's really fun for a spectator. I haven't done a Nordic Combined mass start before, so this will be a first for me. I did mass starts a lot when I was biathlete and a cross-country skier growing up, and I really enjoyed it. There's a lot more tactics involved, but for Nordic Combined, obviously you want to get the most head start going into the jumping as you can. So whereas a normal cross-country race, you know, if you cross the line first, you cross the line first, you win. So I think the idea in the cross-country race is always to get the most seconds ahead of the person behind you.
Well, I was just saying before you joined us, Tara, you've had an amazing year. And if anybody's listened to the podcast, Tara was featured on our Athlete Profile show talking about the season that you've had so far. It's just been a winning season. No other way to put it. You've just been on top form. And how are you feeling about going into this competition? Are you confident based on the form that you've been on?
It's been a really amazing season, and as I said before when I was on the show, I just try to take every event one at a time. And I have been training for ski jumping. I've been at the World Championships and not training a lot cross country, and I've been traveling a lot, so I'm pretty tired. It's getting late in the season, but you know, I'm going to do the best I can and hopefully continue the winning streak.
Well, you mentioned there, as you say, all this traveling, because the last time we spoke to you, you were about to leave, actually, I think that day, for Seefeld in Austria for the World Nordic Championships. Tell us how that went for you. I watched some of it, and I watched that wonderful Norwegian girl who just seems unbeatable, and the Germans made history, of course, being the first team to win. That was pretty tight, right down to the wire. That was pretty exciting to watch, actually, those final jumps. So it must have been fun to be there to watch how close that was, and could the Germans do it? And yes, of course they could. But how was it for you? Talk about your experience there, Tara.
Well, the whole World Championships is a really special event. I mean, all the Nordic disciplines come together and are competing for 2 weeks, and everyone in the world who's good is there. For me, it was a roller coaster ride, because there was a lot of different aspects of me being there. As a ski jumper, I was coming into it, you know, not having the best season and wanting to perform my best. I had some equipment changes that actually helped me a lot. And, that was sort of a last minute switch, which is never really what you want to do going into competition. You want to, be doing the same things you've done in training and do well. And on the Nordic Combined side of things, it really hit me when I got there that in 2 years there will be a women's Nordic Combined event. So whenever I was watching the men's race, I was getting excited because I love watching Nordic Combined. It's such a mental sport. It's such a cool spectator sport because you really never know what's going to happen. So on top of that, I was realizing that in 2 years I get to be on the other side of the fence, which is really, really special.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a long time coming, isn't it, with a developing sport? So,
Yeah.
what were your biggest takeaways from that then? Because there's always lessons learned, right, from any competition, no
Mhm.
matter how it goes. What were your biggest takeaways?
Well, going into it, as I said, I wasn't jumping that well, and I got some new skis, and I tailored a new suit and had the best jumps of my entire season at World Championships in the training. Going into the individual competition, I was actually feeling more confident about jumping than I had in a really long time. Unfortunately, ski jumping is a sport with a lot of rules. You have to have a certain size suit, you have to have a certain length skis, and there's so many rules about how your suit can be tailored and what your weight has to be, what kind of gloves you can wear, what kind of helmet you can wear. And going into it, because I had a new suit, I was concerned about, okay, like, is my suit the perfect size? Because if your suit is 5 millimeters too big, thus giving you an advantage and more surface area, you get disqualified. So it's not an easy thing to deal with, especially because your body's changed throughout the season. So my suit was fine, but because I was focusing so much on my suit and whether my suit fit, my skis were actually a little bit too long, meaning that I was a little bit too light. In ski jumping, you have to be a certain weight for your skis because in the 90s, people were being anorexic because the lighter you are and the longer skis you have, the more surface area you have, and the longer you fly. So FIS put some rules in saying that if you want a certain length skis, thus giving you more surface area, you have to be a certain weight. It's called the BMI chart. Now, these charts are based off of men. So for me, they've always been hard to meet. I've always been on the light side. And I woke up in the morning and I weighed myself and I was plenty heavy and I didn't really think anything of it. And then after, a pretty good qualifying jump for the individual world championship event, I went into the equipment control trailer. They have it right at the bottom of the ski jump. You go in directly after you've taken your ski jump and you either get your suit measured or sometimes they weigh you. Sometimes they check a sticker on your helmet to make sure your helmet is new. It really depends. I mean, they can't check every single rule every time you go in there, but they'll check probably 2 to 5 things. So they checked my weight and I was 0.2 kilos under what I needed to be. So I was disqualified.
Oh, heartbreaking. I mean, such a small
Yeah.
amount. So, to tell me, why don't they check before you jump? I mean, that would make sense that they had because this happens in a lot of sports. There's equipment control at some point, and I know in my sport it often happens after they come out of the ring. So I'm wondering
Right.
why you don't have it before you actually jump. It just seems, they've got the the equipment control there.
Yeah, so they do have some equipment control at the top of the jump. The inseam measurements on suits have to be the same as your legs, because if the inseam measurement on a suit is lower, it effectively is like a flying squirrel suit. So at the
Hmm.
top of the jump, they actually take the inseam on your suit before you go down the ski jump. And that's the one equipment control they do at the top. They don't do weight at the top. I don't know why they don't do the weight at the top, not the bottom, but that's just how it is. Possibly if they had weighed me at the top because it was a hot, sunny day, I would have passed. I mean, that's
Hmm.
the amount we're talking. I mean, 200 grams is a glass of water. It's
Yeah,
an
nothing. Huh?
apple. It's nothing. But at the end of the day, rules are rules, and if you're not on the right side of it, you can't jump or you get disqualified. So
yeah, very, very
and then
disappointing.
yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, the rules are there to keep our sport fair, and there's a lot of them in ski jumping. But you know, it's my job, and it's a mistake I made, so I won't do that again.
Well, that's the hard takeaway, but what was the fun takeaway from it?
It was so amazing, you know, being there representing my country and being at the pinnacle of my sport. You know, seeing so many amazing performances from my teammates and, you know, fellow friends and competitors. We actually had a surprise on the men's team. Casey Larson was sitting in 13th after the first round of the individual competition, which is really unheard of for him to be that high in the rankings. He's usually anywhere from 50th to 30th. So to be sitting in top 13th at World Championships after the first jump was so cool to see.
And Seefeld, a lovely place in Austria. I mean, that's not too shabby to have to spend a few days there anyway.
No, it's a very idyllic town nestled in the Austrian mountains, and it was sunny and beautiful every single day. And you know, when you're not competing as an athlete, it's always nice to, you know, go out and see if you can catch a few minutes of other people's events. And you know, the women's cross country team came in 5th and had a really good race, and we're really fighting for it all the way. So to see performances like that around you when you're competing is pretty motivating and inspiring as well.
Watching the best in the world, it's always inspiring, isn't it? Okay, so how does Russia look then? I mean, you said you've been there before, where you are, and I'm going to let you pronounce it again because I'm going to butcher it.
Yeah, I've been here in Nizhny Tagil before as just a ski jumper. So they have Women's World Cups here, and I was here, I believe, 2 years ago and 3 years ago. Actually, we came in December, so it was really dark and really cold. So this time it's more spring-like, I guess you would say. But the jump will probably be pretty much the same.
And I mean, is it just a big mountainous region then? I'm assuming it's mountainous. But how expansive is that? I mean, and how far can you see? Could you compare it to, say, the Austrian, French, or the Swiss Alps?
It's so different. Actually, there's not many mountains here. It's sort of rolling hills as far as you can see. I don't know how big the city is. I want to say like 40,000. It's a pretty big city, but it's really far north. It's known for its sort of industrial manufacturing. I think they make tanks here. In our hotel rooms, there's a picture of tanks. That's the decoration. So that's what they're proud of here. That's what they do. And there's a lot of Orthodox churches around, a lot of lakes, frozen lakes that people are fishing on. And actually, right outside our hotel is a swimming pool that has been cut in the ice. So I guess that is a Russian winter bath is going to jump in the lake.
There must be something traditional.
You never know
there.
what you're going to find when you travel.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's an opportunity for you to swim in an ice pool. Maybe something you've never done before.
Yeah, for sure. Who knows? I might have to try it out after all the competitions are done.
There you go.
Just to say,
So, as you mentioned earlier, Tara, the competition season and the World Cup season is coming to an end now. We're into March now. What is left? You've only a few competitions left. So, this weekend, right there, and then where do you go?
So I have 3 competitions in a row here for Nordic Combined, and then actually, as chance would have it, the next competition for Women's World Cup is also here. So I end up staying here for a week and competing 2 different weekends here in Nizhny Tagil. After that, we take a train to Tchaikovsky, Russia, which is about a 6-hour train ride.
6 hours across a very bleak Russia, no doubt, very cold and bleak Russia.
Yeah.
And where on the map is that in relation to where you are and Moscow?
So it's all.
Oh, well, we seem to have lost Tara there in the eastern reaches of Russia. Nizhny Tagil seems to have cut us off, so hopefully she'll be coming back here in just a moment. But if you're watching, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for your comments. I have a comment there from Marit Stub Nabilius. I hope I've pronounced your name right, Marit. Ladies team competition was the best competition of the whole championship. So obviously you're a big fan of Nordic skiing, and appreciate you stopping by and saying hello. And Andrew Stone says, presumably keep it up, Tara Geraghty Moats. You must be a fan, Andrew. Well, thank you for, as I said, for stopping by. Hopefully Tara will be able to jump back on here in just a second. She must have just lost her connection, which sometimes happens. But if she can regain her connection, then we'll finish the conversation with her before she has to get on with the rest of her day. As I said, they are 10 hours ahead. It's 10 a.m. here, Eastern time in the US. And okay, there's Tara again. Let's see. Tara, can you request to join? Oh, there we go. Let's see if we can add her. It's letting me add her, I think. So bear with us just a second. It says it's adding. It takes a moment to connect. But we are at the whim of a good internet connection when we do this, of course, being video as well as audio. And there you are. There you are. I was just saying temperamental internet in Nizhny Tagil.
Yeah, it is, but it's probably better than where I'm from in the US. So.
There we are. Okay, you were just saying you've got that 6-hour train journey then after the competition's finished in Nizhny Tagil, and off you go to another competition. 6-hour train ride. I love train rides in Europe, but that's probably a pretty bleak one across there. Where is it in relation to Moscow? Will you be heading back towards Moscow?
Actually, we'll be headed further away from Moscow, I believe.
Wow.
Both of these venues are pretty much northeast. It's right on the line of Asia and Europe, so we're right in that area and pretty far north. So yeah, 6 hours. I believe it's 6 hours into Asia.
Okay.
So northeast.
Yeah. So yeah, you wouldn't be long before you're in China. Then you can keep going.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well just keep going and go see the wall, right?
Exactly.
No, but I really love Russia. And some of the more out of the way places I visited, like Romania and Kazakhstan, because it is so different. And you know, it's bleak, but you actually get to see, you know, a very real side of another part of the world, and people live differently and do things differently, which I think is really cool to be able to experience that.
Great fun. That's the joy of sport, isn't it? You know, and getting to travel the world, places you wouldn't otherwise go. Well, we have to announce today, Tara, that you know we've made a new friend in you, and we're learning about Nordic Combined, and you have lots of stories to tell. So we're delighted to announce that you're going to be a WiSP ambassador.
Yay! I'm really excited to be able to share my story and share with the world a little bit of how women's Nordic Combined is evolving and hopefully how it grows into an Olympic sport, or at least the challenges it faces.
Yes, and so we can learn a lot more about it because it's one of the little known sports really in terms of the, you know, snow and ski sports and part of the International Skiing Federation, of course. So we're looking forward to doing that, and I'm hoping now that we've announced this, and we will set up a page on our website so anybody who follows Nordic Combined Skiing can go to Tara's page on our website. It'll take a few days to set up, so bear with us and we'll have that ready. And there we will populate it with Tara's stories from wherever she is, training or skiing, ski jumping, competing anywhere in the world. And we will learn a lot more about the sport. And Tara, I'm thinking we should start with some pictures from where you are, because not everyone knows exactly where you are. There might not be many pictures on your Facebook page, or certainly not on mine. I think this is a first for me anyway, as a journalist. I've never spoken to anyone in Nizhny Tagil before. So there's a first time for everything.
Yeah, well, I always try to post stories on my Instagram account, but also on my Instagram story. So maybe if a photo I'm not sure about putting on my Instagram page, I'll just put it up on the story, and whether it's, you know, things we find in the airport, or, you know, the huge amount of baggage we have, or a cool church, or a cute puppy, I usually put that on my Instagram story, and it's fun for my friends and family to follow along and
to follow along there. And maybe you could send us some pictures of the venue, of the actual venue, because we would love to see that. If you have any pictures of you in competition, We'd love to see that.
Yep.
So we'll put those on your page here, and we will, as I say, be following Tara and her story. And hopefully it is one day all the way to the Olympic Games, Tara. So for this weekend, good luck. I hope it goes well. I hope you find your groove again and enjoy the weekend and the rest of the competitions to come this season.
Well, thank you so much for covering my story, Chris. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I look forward to next time.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's it for today. Don't forget to check out our podcasts. We have new shows going up today on WiSP Sports, wherever you listen to podcasts, and also on wisports.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Post your comments here. We can send them to Tara if you have any comments or questions. And just another shout out to Andrew Stone, who's posted a comment here. He says, "That's awesome. Congrats, Tara." So you've got some fans out there. We also heard a moment ago from Marit Stubnabilius. I hope I spelled your pronounced your name right, Marit. Do you know these people, Tara?
Yeah, so Andy is a neighbor of mine back in West Fairleigh, and Marit is a judge from Sweden, helping to
Very good.
further women's Nordic combined, and also just working in the ski competition side of things.
Fabulous. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll be doing more of this with Tara as we tell her story. But for now, that's it from Tara in Nizhit Tagil in Russia, and from me, Chris Stafford. Until the next time, thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.